Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. Being mad lazy today. I should have started like an hour ago.
Mhm.
I'm being mad lazy right now. But you know how we do. Or what up, Sam? Oh man. But yeah, man, like you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready, bro.
I wanted to, this is the like the a new series that started called Forgotten Gems, and I want to do like the first couple of R&B albums like we did. Raphael Sadiq was the first one, and then we do an intro today, and then like I want to do like Dave Hollister and some other artists later this year, and then
Hmm.
like after like the little R&B joints, I'm gonna pick like some hip hop joints to do, and then some alternative rock joints or whatever. And this album we talking about definitely fits, you know, um, Forgotten Gem because I feel like the group intro is was highly underrated, especially on their first album at that time when in '93 when you had groups like Portrait and Men of Visions and you know what I mean, like even Blackstreet at the time was underrated when he first came out, but um I think this group was severely slept on and you know a little like history like I got in the intro when the video came out. I didn't know who the hell he was. We didn't have the internet back then or social media. I just like everybody else when that Love Thing um video came out and I used to watch it and I recognized the sample that they sampled the brand new being slow down beat
Right.
and that was like my intro to them so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a dope joint and at that time it was like you had like Mary J really started that whole trend of singing over hip hop beats, street beats with like R&B melodies, and that became a thing. And intro, they were like one of those groups, they had like that hip hop street R&B flavor and New Jack Swing type of flavor to their music, and that was my intro to them. And then when I picked up the album, it was great, especially when they dropped that second single, "Let Me Be." I was like, yo, that's my joint. That's still my joint off the album, and you know, um, that was my intro to them. And what was your intro to intro?
Well, to be honest with you, this is actually the first time I've heard of their album,
Right,
but I know that heard the name Kenny Green a lot, especially when in talking about Mary J. Blige and stuff.
right,
Because I know that he offered Mary J. Blige a couple of songs
right,
for What's the 411. So, and he's like a dope songwriter too.
right. True. Yeah, because he wrote like most of the hit like Reminisce and Real Love.
Mm-hmm.
What's the 411? Her first album, which is classic. Still love that album. And he was a big songwriter. He ended up dying in 2001 from AIDS or whatever. Didn't even know that until like so I want to say like maybe last year I heard about that. You know what I
Wow.
mean? But the group hooked up. They were in the military actually. Jeff Sanders and not Jeff Kenny Greene and Clinton Buddy White was in the military and they met. They were friends there and they were singing while they were in the military and they had another guy with them I think he was they had another guy I think I forgot his name. They had another guy with them that was singing and then he left and they couldn't do the being in the army and sing at the same time so they chose to leave the army and become a group and Clinton's friend Jeff Sanders he came into the group. He brought his friend into the group, and that's how they became intro. And Heavy D, they hooked up with Heavy D and met him, and then Heavy D brought them to DJ Eddie F. Eddie F from Heavy and the Boys. He's done shit for Donald Jones and a lot of other people, and that's how they got their deal and on Atlantic, and they're from Brooklyn. They're from my home. This is the album intro. classic album. Mm. This shit is like mad expensive online, yo.
Right.
I seen it on Amazon for like $25. I'm like, yo, that's crap. Could imagine how much it is on eBay and shit. And Eddie F. He did like a lot of the production along with Dave Jam Hall, another R&B legend when it comes to like producing. He did stuff for Mary, did stuff for Kenny Lattimore, you know. And they came out with, I think it was like 4 singles they came out with. I believe they came out with
Mm-hmm.
what up, Eric? They came out with Love Thing was the first one, and then Let Me Be, and the rendition of Ribbon in the Sky by Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say they came out with Come Inside. I think that was a single as well, if I'm
Yeah,
not
Come Inside
mistaken.
was a single.
Right. I don't remember the video for that one though. But they came out with 4 singles, and you know it was when the album came out, it was highly acclaimed, and they end up doing the second album before the leader passed away or whatever. And that's really much about it. There's not too much like history on the group. I know um I was in a live stream last Friday on this '90s RG page, and the one I tagged you in, Reg, and they were talking with Buddy about the history of intro, and he had like a lot of interesting stories to tell about when they met Stevie Wonder, and they were they were in LA, and I think like Stevie knew about the rendition they were doing for Ribbon in the Sky, and um they were in LA, and I think Clinton had he flew back home to Brooklyn, and then they had called him and told him that the other two members had stayed out in LA, and that they had met up with Stevie for his birthday, and then Clinton, I think he took like a red eye back to LA to meet Stevie, and they ate cake and ice cream, and they were talking about the Doggy Style album at that time when it came out, and they had he said that they end up doing a song with Stevie for a Curtis Mayfield album. I don't know what Curtis Mayfield album that came out, but they did a song together with Stevie for that album, and he had a lot of stories to tell. He was talking about like they have like a lot of unreleased joints that's still in the vault, but they don't own the unreleased songs. Like the I guess Atlantic Records owns it. They have joints with Mary J, and it was an interesting story. Like he had like a little shrine dedicated to Kenny, and that they were still working on music, and the reason why they never came out with anything after the second album was because they tried to get other members in the group, but they wasn't gelling with them, so they just gave up. Like it's hard to replace your leader when your leader is like the talent of the group, and then he just suddenly passed away, or he didn't even tell the group that about his sicknesses. Like it's hard to replace him, and they just stopped making music after the second album. But he had like a lot of stories to tell, so shout out to him and '90s RG page and shit. But I thought I was interested. They definitely need a like an unsung to tell their whole story, because I'm not really familiar with their whole story, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, Eric. I don't know, because he said they had like unreleased joints with Mary, because Kenny, the leader of the group, he was a songwriter. He wrote a lot of hits from Mary's first album, and they have like just like a lot of unreleased joints in general, but they don't own the masters for that though. The record label has all those unreleased joints. So I was like, damn, that's crazy, and but he was cool. He was saying that, like he was saying what's up to everybody on the live stream, and he was a cool dude. But I don't really know like their whole history other than like the stuff I read about, Kenny dying from AIDS and all that. So they definitely need to have like their story told or whatever. Any like additional stuff of the group, Reg?
As far as I know, that's as much as I know about the group myself.
Right. And before Kenny died, he apparently he was bisexual. He was sleeping with both men and women. He contracted AIDS from a guy he was sleeping with, and he said the guy was an AIDS carrier, but the guy didn't have it supposedly. And he didn't even tell the group, like he was on his deathbed when he let everybody know that he was gay and that he was dying from AIDS. And he told this to an interview to Sister magazine back in 2001. And they nobody knew, like the record label didn't know. They didn't His weight was going up and down. They didn't even know about that. And um I remember when he passed away, it was sad. It was like shocking because at that time we didn't have like the internet, or there was no social media back then to even hear about this type of stuff. So when it happened, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And you could tell, like people were saying, like you could tell, like on the second album, like on the like when they did the album cover, like his face looked more skinny or whatever compared to the first album. The first album, they said he was more chunky, and that even when his weight was going up and down, like he would change his appearance when with his wardrobe or whatever. And um, he wasn't ready to come out that time, and during the '90s. Like nobody was ready to come out unless he was like a pop star like Elton John or Freddie Mercury. Like those were different, but like in R&B, for especially for a black man, they wasn't ready to hear that. So he just kept it to himself until he was on his deathbed, and then he told the group and told everybody, you know, what it was with him. But it's a sad story. And that's basically all I have about intro. There's not like a big story that's out there with this group. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna like discuss the album, the first album or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And um yeah, so this is intro to self-titled album, 1993, released on Atlantic Records. And DJ Eddie F, like I said, he was the executive producer, and he did like most of the production with Dave Jam Hall. Am I missing any other producers? I think it was him and Dave Jam Hall.
Um, you said Dallas Austin. Him. Hold on.
Dallas Austin is on here.
Let me pull it down. Let me double check.
I don't remember Dallas on here. This is the CD booklet.
Okay. Eddie F, DJ Eddie F, Neville Hudge,
Yeah.
Dave Jam Hall.
This is Kenny. This is the leader of the group, and this is Jeff, and this is Buddy, and yeah. So the first song is Love Thing. That was the first single. I love it. They sampled the Brand Nubian Slow Down beat, and it was like a real banging like hip hop beat with like an R&B melody. And you got Kenny. Kenny did like all the singing, the lead singing, and he says cause you make me so happy. I got to let you know that I'll never let you go, and you make me feel so special. You're mine and mine alone. And I like the chorus. We got a love thing. Love that. Dope a dope song, a dope first single. And everybody know that joint. When that joint come on, it's like, yo, you know where you heard the sample first. At least for me, like it was I heard it first from Brand Nubian. I don't know if anybody else did that before them, but that's from their first album. So it was like they used like a recognizable sample that people would relate to. And I like that, as well as the second single is like another sample that people could relate to. But Love Thing is definitely a great way to start the album off.
Yeah, man, I definitely have to agree with you on that. Love Thing is definitely a banger. Nice way to start off the album.
Right.
88F did his thing with that beat using the same sample. All my Brand Nubian fans should know about that sample.
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very, very, very dope
Definitely.
song right here.
We got to talk about that Brand Nubian album
Which
one
one?
day. The One for All.
I already talked about that. We can talk about everything is everything.
Yes, that one too. I feel like I mean outside of In God We Trust, I feel like a lot of their discography is slept on, and them as a group is slept on.
True.
And yeah, we definitely got to put some respect on them. Definitely. Um, Track two, we got "Let Me Be the One." Again, another recognizable sample from the Edo G. I got to have it, and Heavy D and the Boys they sampled that on the Blue Funk album the same year that came. Well, I know I think Blue Funk came out in I want to say late '92, early '93, but it was around the same time, and they have a song called "Love Sexy" on the Blue Funk album that was produced by Pete Rock, and he used that same sample for that song, and then Intro used it for their second single, "Let Me Be the One," and I love that song. Again, another bass heavy R&B track, and you got Kenny. I love the chorus. He's saying "Let me be, let me be." I love that, and I ain't supposed to be singing these choruses, yo. You know what I mean? Y'all check
Yeah,
the song. It's dope, and he's singing "I'll still be here forever in love with you, my dear, and the love I have for you won't disappear." And just the way that he's flowing, he's singing over that beat is just fire. 'Cause I never heard nobody that would take that sample and like sing over it. So I think that was a dope second single, and it had like a formula. Like because of Mary, like with her first album, I think like people follow that formula of singing over R&B, like doing R&B and singing it over like hip hop beats like that, and I think it definitely worked for intro.
mm, yeah, but let me be the one. Very, very, very dope track right there. Love that beat by Jim Hall and stuff.
Right. Right.
It definitely has that what's the 411 sound, like just with those drums and like the way those keyboards are used throughout the beat.
Right.
Very, very, very dope track.
Yeah, definitely. That's like a signature hit. Well, that I think over the years, like I've seen people on the '90s IG pages like say like that the Ribbon in the Sky rendition is like they have become like their signature song, but I think Let Me Be is like their signature song because it's like an original track, and Ribbon in the Sky was like a rendition or whatever. Um, Track three, you got Anything for You. Again, another dope street hip hop beat that they're singing over. Nice bass line and keys on this, and Kenny singing "Baby, I give you the world if it were mine. I would do anything to make you mine if I could." And at like towards the end of the song is like a nice acapella with the pianos and Kenny's voice, and it's a great way to like end the track, and I love that part of the song. But yeah, another solid track, another fast hip hop track.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything for you. This is like you said, another solid track. Vocally, it's one of the best songs off this album. And like you said too, I like that breakdown at the end where kind of has Kenny's acapella voice.
Right.
Yeah, very, very dope track. Kenny Greene is just so underrated in my opinion.
Definitely, he was definitely a dope songwriter and singer, and just a shame how things ended. And track four, you got "Why Don't You Love Me," and again another bass heavy hip hop beat. Nice keys on it, and it had that signature Eddie F sound, like the type of sound he had like on Heavy D and the Boys, "Somebody for Me," and even like when he did the in Living Color theme song for the show,
Hmm.
had like that New Jack City type New Jack swing type of flavor to the song, and Kenny says I thought that we live a fantasy, nothing but sunny days and no pain. And I like that part of the song, just talking to like about a woman that's he's asking like, why don't you love me anymore, and what went wrong, and I think it was like a solid track.
Oh yeah, very dope analysis. This is actually another one of the best songs vocally on this project. Definitely has like a nice. You can definitely tell like the strong vocal chemistry between all the members of the group.
Right.
I like the line where um I like the line where they said, "I thought that we could live with fantasy. Nothing but sunny days, baby, no pain. I've come to know for love to go, you gotta take some rain. That mean that don't mean for our love to be true. You gotta change the way I'm loving you. I love
Right.
that line and shit.
So
All together, very dope song.
yeah, like the first like 5 tracks is like real fast hip hop, R&B tracks, and then like it we get to like the Quiet Storm joints. Um, Track 5 is It's All About You, another New Jack Swing type of track. Nice beat, nice bass line. Kenny singing I never had a girl that loved me quite like you, and I never had a lover that do the things you do. And just another solid track on here. Like I said, like the first 5 tracks are like R&B, hip hop, based, and then they balance it out with track 6 and like the other tracks with like Quiet Storm joints. So I definitely think it was a solid track.
Mm. Yeah, man, very dope track. We at Why Don't You Love Me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Why Don't You Love
No,
Me?
no. We had It's All About You.
Oh, okay, okay.
Track 5. Yeah.
Yeah, this track right here definitely has like a nice little groove to it. Just a nice like that early R&B feel that's kind of transitioning away from that New Jack Swing sound and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right.
very dope track. Jam Hall definitely did his thing with his beat.
Yes. A legend. And I think he's done stuff for like reggae artists as well too. I want to say.
Oh wow, that's dope.
I think because I know I got like some Buju Banton albums that when it came to like the mainstream crossover joints, I think like Dave Jam Hall was like doing stuff like that as well. But definitely a underrated producer. Um, Track 6 you get to the a ballad, one of the ballads on here, "Ribbon in the Sky," the classic Stevie Wonder song. And I remember the video. The video they were always playing on Video Soul back in the day, and everybody was praising it. It was a great rendition, and I liked it. I think it was cool. It was a nice rendition for them to do.
Yeah, man. I've heard a lot of Ribbon in the Skies, and I want to say this one is probably the best one I've heard.
Right,
Um, and one thing I always like it when an artist cover or samples another artist, and the person that they sample from appeared in the video and stuff like that. So
right.
I always like that. The thing,
Mm-hmm.
the thing I like about this cover compared to like the original, it's more sensual and stuff like that. It definitely has
Right,
a style, and it made it more of like a quiet storm track. Cause the original, it definitely you can play like a quiet storm station, but at the same time it has that feeling that you can play at any time of day. Whereas with intros cover, it has more of like a quiet storm feel to it. So
right. True.
very dope cover.
Definitely. Yeah, Buddy was. I know Buddy had. They have like stories about meeting Stevie and you know um just chilling together. I thought that was cool. Like for them to talk about those stories. And track 7 they got is "Don't Leave Me," another Quiet Storm track. And you have Penny saying "You're all that I want, you're all that I need." Has a nice slow beat, nice keys on it, nice bass line. And he's singing, "How could you be in love so strong and throw it all away? You promised to love me, never to leave me forever in a day." And I thought that was some nice lyrics on there. Nice mellow joint.
Yeah, man. Don't leave me. Very dope ballad and stuff like that. You can definitely feel the vulnerability coming from Kenny's voice with that.
Right.
Yeah, man. Definitely like the beat. Very dope.
The next joint, man, this might be like I think this is the most riskiest joint I ever heard though. Like if we had to make up a list of um X-rated R&B joints, this should be at the top of the list. Like this and Tevin Campbell joint, the Shush joint, and like a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of like moaning and slurping and licking on this track, and you got what's his name Jeff Sanders from the group. Like the track starts off with them like they were coming off a tour and they going home, and Jeff comes off the tour bus and he's telling the fellas like I'm gonna hook up with y'all later, and he's going home to see his shorty or whatever, and then um you hear him taking out his keys and unlocking the door to his crib, and his shorty waiting for him, talking about how much she misses him, and and he's like, if you miss me so much, then show me. And it's they start getting into it, and it's a real quiet storm ballad, nice beat, nice bass line, and just a risky track. Yo, this is a track that you can't play for the kids. You got to play that when you with your significant other. A lot of like the background noise, a lot of like moaning and stuff. And he's like talking to the chick, and it's real crazy. Real crazy shit going on that song. Like she's like unbuckling his belt, and I'm like, yo, this is like a porno right here. Saying he's like, you're hearing everything on the song, and we all know what she's doing on it. I'm like, I'm surprised they let this go on the album. Like, for at that time, it's like, yo, it was crazy. And um, it's a nice song though. Like, Kenny's vocals was nice on it. The beat. So yeah, what you thought about that song?
Yeah, this was definitely a favorite of mine. One of the signature songs I know about intro, because this was I used to play a lot in the radio where I see it. Yeah, this was a pretty risky song itself. Very freaky, suggestive lyrics and stuff like that. One line I like was when he said, "Baby, just imagine I can do anything you please. I can set your body on fire or soothe your soul with ease. Just a kiss, I'll take your sweet, sweet lips. All the passion I have inside of me, I know you won't forget." I just like that line the way he was flowing on that. Yeah, very, very dope track.
I'm trying to imagine like yo, like and when like how they even record that stuff in the studio, like you know what I mean, like with the chick moaning and slurping and everything on that song. It was like you know
Hmm.
just crazy. But hey, that was a great song. A lot of people love that song too.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's a fan favorite.
I'm like, yeah, I see why the women love that song. You know, track nine we get the One of a Kind Love, nice mid tempo track. Nice beat, bass line. It's real melodic, and we have Kenny singing I don't need no other. I'm so in love. I'm at the point of no return. I thought that was a cool, nice couple lyrics. Not really a standout track for me on here, but I think it was cool.
One for Kind Love, lad. That's definitely it's a pretty okay song. I just
Right,
like the mellow beat to it and stuff like that.
right.
Pretty straight. Not one of my faves either.
And then you get the track 10. Now I think for people that had the cassette for this album, track 10 was the last track. But on the CD, there's a bonus track on here, and they did that a lot during the '90s with Jodeci's second album. There was a bonus track on the CD only, and I think for Faith Evans' first album, there was a bonus track on the CD only. So we got that. Sometimes like we bought the cassette, they didn't have the bonus track. You had to get the CD only joint. Um, so many reasons. That was another dope cut, and it opens with pianos and has like a New Jack Swing type of feel to it. Nice beat and bass line and yeah, Kenny sings I'm lost without your love and I don't know what to do. Come on home to me now. You see that I loved you. And I thought it was a dope song, and they should have put that up higher to me on the album. Like at least like after Ribbon in the Sky, they could put that higher because that's like really the only like fast track towards the end of the album. I mean, I know they started off with like the first five was like hip hop based, but I think it should have been higher up in the track list. I love it though. I think it's a dope song.
Yeah, so many reasons. Another pretty straight track. Nothing really to it, just Kenny Green being Kenny Green and stuff like that. Pretty straight.
right? And then like I said, like this the CD bonus track is Ecstasy of Love, and that was a dope mid tempo track, and nice beat, has like some bluesy guitars on there. It sounded like almost like George Benson was playing on there with I could be wrong. I don't know if it's him. I'm just saying like the guitar playing sounded like him. And you had the start of the song, like the phone rings and you get this chick on the phone and she like talking to one of the guys from the group, and and how much she wants him and she wants to see him and all that. And then Kenny sings, I was a man of many things till I found what true love can bring. And once again, it's like in the background you hear like a lot of moaning and from the woman, and a lot of huffing and puffing going on. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a dope song as well, like to close the album with.
Yeah, Ecstasy of Love. That was pretty straight. Pretty erotic song and stuff like that, especially with the title like Ecstasy of Love. So yeah, very dope track.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the album, and I love it. I think it's a classic. I think it's underrated classic. Kenny Greene was a great songwriter and singer. I think he would have went far. Even maybe if he went solo, he would have been a big star. And I love it. I like the first five tracks is hip hop, had like that hip hop, New Jack Swing type of flavor, and then you get to the Quiet Storm joints like Living in the Sky and Come Inside, and I think it was a well balanced album, and I love it, man. Like my favorite joints is like So Many Reasons, Love Thing, Let Me Be the One, Come Inside, and it was just a solid album for their debut album, and I love the production by Eddie F and Dave Jam Hall. Just solid. Definitely a slept on album.
Shoot, very dope breakdown, bro.
Thank
Um, to me, this was a very, very, very dope album. Considering that this is the first album I've heard from these cats, it definitely I expect to be like really, really this dope.
you. Right.
Vocally they were very dope. I like the consistency and the chemistry between all three members. Um, yeah, man, they kept it short and simple. I like that about the album. You guys were not afraid. But the key thing that really made this album work was the
Mm,
songwriting. I just felt like the songwriting itself
right.
was what really set these cats apart from like a lot of groups around that time, like the Boys to Men's and the Jodeci,
Hmm.
because they were like very balanced and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely might get this album. I might see if it's cheap on Amazon and stuff like that.
Yeah. The Amazon have for $25, and there's one left.
Oh wow, well eBay it is. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
also I
Mm.
got you something else, but I'm gonna tell you more after we get off the air and stuff.
Thanks. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, definitely. But yeah, but I checked for that. I was like, cause I never like looked for their albums before. Like, so I checked. I was like, yo, they got one left for this album, and it's like 25 right now with one left. And then like the second album's like $16, and there's one left for that. So I'm like, yo, get up on this shit now, man.
Mm.
Huh? I know it's rare. I mean, like a lot of those '90s R&B albums and hip hop albums are like rare to find, especially when you have like a tragedy with what happened with this group. So you know what I mean. But definitely a great album, and I want to do like more of these like slept on, forgotten gems. You know what I'm saying? I got like a couple in mind that I want to do. So I definitely had to put this one in the series because I don't hear nobody discuss this group or what Kenny Greene did for R&B at that time.
Facts.
You know, so definitely. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to that Monica review tonight because I never talked about her album either. So
Yeah, bro. Me and Ash, we're gonna do it at 8 o'clock,
yes,
8:30. So
dope. Definitely looking forward to that. And tomorrow we doing J. Rue
yeah, Wrath the Math.
classic. Definitely looking forward to that. And I ain't bumped that album in so many years. I definitely got to pull that out tonight and listen to it. So
Same. Yeah. Yeah, I know, and I know I got like a lot of solo reviews coming up this month. Like I said, I'm taking like a little break on
right,
A and shit. So
right, true, true.
yeah, I know. Oh, by the way,
Mm,
I got some vinyls coming up. But I gotta show you this one shit I got.
all right. Oh, that's one of my favorite albums, the Hatred joint.
Very
That
underrated.
joint he did with Buster. This one, I love that joint.
Yes.
That beat and the joint what's the name of that joint though? The Projects.
Yeah, the project. Yeah,
That
that was,
I love that joint. That beat is like bananas, yo. Like that was the first joint I heard when that album was coming out. I heard the Project joint first, and then I heard the joint he did with Buster.
yeah, the joint he did with Buster
Mm.
and the song Never with Sadat. That's the one I heard first and
That's,
shit.
that's a slept on album for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, because even though I love stunts plus and hip hop with a passion,
Um,
this album definitely came close, very
right.
close to matching it.
Definitely.
Like stunts was more daytime, this was more nighttime. If that makes sense.
That's true. That's true. I
Yeah,
think his whole discography is slept on. Like people don't really like even like now when people talk about like greatest producers, like I don't hear nobody from DITC mentioned. Not Showbiz, not Lord Finesse, not Diamond, and that's a shame because they not Buck Wild. All four of them got like classics under their belt. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I never hear nobody like mention. We definitely gotta do like a episode for them.
yeah. I got something in the works.
Mm,
'Cause I was thinking about doing something about for Easy Mo B in the future, but I don't know yet.
right, right. You want
Yeah,
to do like top 10 Easy Mo B joints or something?
yeah. We can do that one day.
Yeah, he's another slept on producer and he's made classics for like Pac and Big, and Craig Mack like that. And that's crazy like how he did joints for those three and they all gone right now. You know what I mean?
Not just them.
Mm,
He did joints with Kane, Miles Davis.
right, right.
If
Mm,
I'm not mistaken, I think he produced for Alicia Keys. I think.
okay.
Yeah, like he's so versatile. He's like one of
Yeah,
those hip hop R&B producers that's so versatile that no one talks about.
definitely, definitely. That was like the one of the main cats to go to when you needed like that. If you were a hip hop artist and needed that boom bap, you went to Moby,
Yeah,
and he just had it.
Puffy did him wrong. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Well, Puffy did a lot of people wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we could be here for like another hour talking about the people he did wrong.
All right, fact.
Like I was watching an interview with D Dot on the Breakfast Club, and he
Yeah,
was talking about how like there's like a misconception of Puff and how he don't produce. Like he wasn't actually in the studio on the boards, but he was like directing like the Hitman, like directing Stevie J and directing Carlos Sigala Brody and Ron Amen Lawrence and telling them what to add this and take out that. And so D Dot feels like he's a producer. He just wasn't turning the knobs like everybody else was. But I'm like, well, that don't really make you a producer though. I mean, you're a conductor. And like I heard that about Dre too. Like Dre wasn't really turning the knobs; he was conducting. You know,
but
uh,
see, you actually saw Dre in the production studio actually producing this
right,
shit.
right. But there's people there's been like a lot of rumors of like he didn't produce Doggy Style entirely by himself. He had help by Quick, he had help by Daz or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like that, and that shit just start. I started hearing that shit like maybe 3 4 years ago. Like I've never heard that shit before when it came to Dre. Like we always saw Dre in the studio with his artists and helping them. So that stuff that could be all bullshit. Or, as far as I'm concerned, I don't. You know what I mean? Like they trying to. I think they trying to discredit his legacy.
Now I have heard stories that when it came to all eyes on me, like era and stuff like that, he was trying to take a lot of credit for producing the whole album.
Right.
But I heard a story. I don't know if that's really true,
Who
but
Dre?
yeah,
Well, we know Dre didn't do the whole album.
of course, because he only did California Love, Can't
Right.
See Me.
Hmm.
I want to say that's it. I want to say
Yeah.
That beats a
And
king.
I used to hear that that California Love was for him, and then when Pac heard it, he added Pac on it.
Yeah, because originally that was for Dr. Dre's album, his follow up to the Chronic and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Not the Chronic 2001, but the
Right,
original follow up.
right.
And the original, I heard the original version, which was just a Dre solo.
Mm,
But when Pop came to Death Row, Suge was just like a lot of artists. He had to include Pac to their songs or some shit like that. So that's how that came to fruition with Dre and shit.
right. That's crazy, yo.
But
I never heard that, but if D Dot feels like Puffy is a producer, that's cool. I don't feel like, to me, I feel like if you're not actually like making the sound, you know what I'm saying, that you're just conducting other niggas, that's not really a producer. That's like if that's like a songwriter. Like if you're writing a song, but you're giving it to somebody else, well, who words are that? It's not really the artist. That's like, you know what I'm saying. That's the songwriter's thoughts on paper that they're just singing or they're just rapping. It's
right,
not really coming from that artist. You know what I'm saying? So that's like ghostwrite. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you know, but I mean, yeah. But it was an interesting story when he was talking about, his Mason and the Locks are like his favorites to work with in the studio. And Black Rob is like Black Rob is a beast in the studio, and I thought it was interesting. I'm like, you know, he's talking about like they have a documentary coming about the Hitman and Bad Boy, and the days of when they were like it was crazy up in Daddy's house, and they
yeah.
went from like one studio with 112 to like Faith, and then to the Locks and with G Dep and all that. So I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds kind of interesting, to be real.
Hmm. Um, I mean, I don't. He said it's coming up, but cause they got like a lot of like old footage from like the '90s and the early 2000s with Loon and all that.
True, true.
I mean, so I mean, when it's dropping, I don't know, but he talked about when he did the How to Rob joint with 50, and he talked about a lot of stuff on it. It was a good interview. It was like a couple weeks ago. I was looking at it on YouTube or whatever.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, like they don't when it comes to great producers, I never hear nobody from DITC in that same conversation, and they need to be because they did like so many classic just like just those artists I named like artists that's not even here for Big L not here and for punning them, and it was just what I mean, it's crazy,
Right.
and they that's really the boom bap shit. Like when you talk about like Showbiz and AG and Lord Finesse and Diamond and Buck Wild, like the countless remixes he's done in the '90s for like Funk Dubious and for the Alcoholics and even the Beastie Boys. Like he just said, like he was it, man. Like even now, like I just heard a album he did with a rapper named Pounds, and like the whole album is like him and Pounds. He got a crazy flow, and like Buck is like his sound is updated, but it's still that boom bap, Buck Wild that we know and love from like the back in the day. And I love it, man. It's a dope album,
So that's what's up.
you know. So like we gotta do like a producers episode one day, man. Like
Yo, we'll talk about that shit
yeah,
definitely.
for sure. I got like all these ideas now in my head. Like yo, we gotta talk about this person, MOB and DITC and shit. So
Facts,
you
facts.
know, somebody just hit me up about the second intro album while we was talking about it.
Wow, yeah, I gotta hear it first. And like I said,
Yeah, I never heard. I remember when it came out in the singles, but I never actually bought the album. I didn't buy that one. But while we was talking, somebody hit me up in DM about the second. You got to hear the second intro album, so I'm gonna definitely do
man,
that. It's crazy, you know. But definitely next week we're gonna do the Wu Tang shit because I've been wanting to do that. That's like another series I'm doing on here, like Wu Tang Wednesdays. Like the last Wednesday of every month, I'm gonna pick like a Wu Tang artists or affiliates to discuss. So we're gonna start that next Wednesday.
Okay, bro.
You know what I mean? And yeah, we do. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do that. That's gonna be like the last Wednesday of every. Well, not I don't know if it's gonna be every month, maybe every other month. But I'm gonna definitely start that Wu-Tang Wednesday series again. What up, Sam? You said have you heard the second Group Home album? I heard it, but it was a long time ago. The only joint I remember was that stupid motherfuckers joint. I think Alchemist did that joint, but I didn't really care for it compared to like the first album. The first album was classic. But I heard the second one, but it was like a long ass time ago. Have you ever heard it, Reg?
Yeah, I've heard it a while back ago too. I mean, when I originally heard it, it was in, but I gotta hear it again.
Yeah, it wasn't promoted either. Like they just put it out there. I remember hearing it online actually. They just put it out there and that was it. You know. But yeah, Group Home. That's another great album. Another album that people don't talk about. You know. That to me is like the primo one of the best like primo produced albums outside of the Gangstar stuff. When they talk about Cream and that whole battle was crazy. People still talking about that battle, and you know, to me, I think RZA won, but I think he won late. I think Primo was getting him early, and he had his missiles lined up, and um, RZA came back. Like RZA's sound was fucking up in the beginning, but once he got it straight, he took off, and I think I'm surprised. RZA is this big producer and everything. I would think he would know like to do a sound check before you actually get on live. You know what I
True,
mean?
true. Yeah,
Premier did an interview with Sway on Monday, like talking about the battle and how everything came about, and he said he was nervous as hell. Like he was real nervous before the battle, and like he had like actors and people, every like a lot of artists hitting him up before the battle and telling them what to play and what not to play, and he had like three different crates. We had like the bangers, and then he had like the unreleased joints, and then he had like the stack of stuff that he would like pull out. I think he had like unreleased joints or whatever that he would pull out, and like remixes he was gonna pull out to play if anything. But he said he was nervous or whatever, and that he never spoke to the RZA before. Like he spoke to the RZA like way back when they started Wu Tang, but he didn't speak to the RZA before the battle or whatever. And he didn't know what to expect. And then when RZA played Liquid Swords first, he was like, "Oh shit, he going straight for the throat or whatever." And I loved it. I think it's like the best battle since Jay-Z and Nas. Definitely a great battle, and we need more epic battles like this. Like I want to see Pete Rock involved in one of these battles because he's like my favorite producer of all time, him and Primo. So Pete Rock got to jump in one of these battles, battle Dre or battle the Alchemist or something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Sam said I listened to a lot of Darkman Heist of Century and Killer Army and Blue Syndicate. Those are some dope albums. The Killer Army, the Sound of Weaponry album was dope, and the other album from them was dope, and Blue Syndicate first album, and a lot of Dark Man, definitely some underrated Wu affiliated albums, that nobody really mentioned, especially a lot of Dark Man album that definitely was solid, you know,
yeah. That's a dope album.
definitely, you know what I mean. But I thought it was a great battle, and that battle could have went all the way. If people believe Primo won or RZA, that's great, and there's so much stuff that they didn't play what I'm saying, like I think RZA was smart though. Like RZA was definitely listening to what the fans were saying because he didn't play like he didn't go into that 2000s bag too much unless it was like from Supreme Clientele. He didn't like try to play nothing from You God or Master Killer or none of those albums.
Mm,
He kept it strictly. That's just what I wanted to do. Just keep it strictly from '93 to like '99, and he did that. And I think it was great, man. And but when Preem had did that, when they did that, he played that Christina joint. I'm like, I don't even like that Christina joint, man.
mm.
And I like Christina Aguilera, but I didn't like that the shit he did for her on that album, that double album she did. You can't kid us I came out of left field with that.
I
Sam,
liked it.
huh?
I know I liked it.
You liked it? You liked the Christina joint?
Yeah,
Sam said, "I want Pete Rock and Diamond D." That would be good. That would be good. Definitely. I gotta go with Pete on that one though, because that is my favorite of all time. I gotta go with Pete. But Diamond D, like I said, like Diamond D is severely underrated. You know what I'm saying? Even him as an artist, Reg just showed one of his vinyls, and even that album is underrated. But definitely, that'll be a good battle to see. You know, and there was some big names in there. I never seen the Weekend or Nobody live stream, and the Weekend was up in there. You had Drake. Drake was up in there. Then his producer 40 came up in there. Adrian Brody. He's a big Wu-Tang head. He was up in there. And it was a lot of big names, man. I was like BT Networks was up in there. I'm like, yo, this is huge, right, man. You know, you wasn't gonna see Migos and Little Yachty up in that shit. It was strictly like for like real hip hop heads was up in there.
shit.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You know, yeah, that's definitely would be a good battle. I want to see like P Rock involved in that shit.
I feel you. Hey, listen, man. I gotta call my grandma and shit like that. So I'm gonna talk to you a little later and shit.
All right, cool, cool. We're definitely gonna hook up for the Monica review later with Ashley. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to you, Sam, for always supporting us and
Facts.
check us on Red's channel. We're doing the Monica first album, Miss Thing. We'll do that about 8 o'clock, and then tomorrow we're doing on his channel Jay with Damage or Wrath of the Math. So look out for that.
Shit. All right, y'all.
So
Yeah.
about to be out. Check y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.